Hello, it is Tuesday, June 29th, 2021. This is Glenda Carlin, and this is our A Course in Miracles group for Tuesday evening, 7 to 8 Eastern Time. So the first thing I want to do, though, is address each one of you, because that's part of the forgiveness process, is to think about our brothers as holy sons of God and see the face of Christ. And like I say, we fake it till we make it. We say these words even though we don't know what they mean. Ultimately, you will know what they mean, and you will see the face of Christ on your brother, each one of them. So welcome, Holy Son of God, Sally, Holy Son of God, Troy, Holy Son of God, Christian, Holy Son of God, Ani,
Honey.
Hani, Holy Son of God, Dee, Holy Son of God, Brian, Holy Son of God, Julia, Holy Son of God, Tina, Holy Son of God, Peter, Holy Son of God, Debbie, Holy Son of God, Glenda. Yay, welcome, welcome. And we want to invite in. Now remember, Holy Spirit, Jesus, Buddha, ascended masters, enlightened beings are always here. They're always with you, but we got to invite them in, call them in. And one of the paragraphs, sentences I'll talk about tonight, Jesus says, you got to call on me. Okay, boy, I was calling on him a lot today because my dog's passing and I'm going to take him in a couple of days to let him put him to sleep. And, you know, I go from the light to, oh, my dog's dying. Oh, the light. So anyway, now we're going to meditate. And so this meditation is a little different, although I'm going to add a twist tonight because I was in a 2-day virtual workshop with that Lama Surya Das where he did meditations, talks, and chanting for 2 days, almost like 6 hours. And it's like, you don't really realize how much you're taking in and the impact. You all know what happens when you're in a retreat. Is waves, and his topic was about the radiance. Let's see, what was the topic? I always forget it. Awakening inner radiance, because that enlightenment, that light, when it fills your mind, radiates out your head, where your head seems to be, and that's all you are is light. But what he asked people to visualize, let me go back 1 second. Before I started recording last week, Peter, there was a paragraph we were reading about where Jesus says there's much time gone by or something. And in essence, when you're going to figure out you want to try to wake up from this dream, right? Well, Peter chatted, the Big Bang was 14.5 billion years ago. Now give me a break. So that means we all have been wandering around in the illusion all those lifetimes. So when you're beating yourself up about that you can't get this, or you are sad today or whatever yesterday, picture how far you've come, and in this lifetime there is a very good chance you could wake up from the dream, this dream, because you're practicing the true forgiveness that Jesus talks about in the Course, where we look past the body, the form, to this invisible clear light of spirit that's here. Or you can silently say to each brother, you are spirit, whole, pure, and innocent, always forgiven and released. Because the things you say silently and out loud, all those things are stored in your unconscious mind. It does not forget one thing. So as you think of your brother is how your unconscious thinks you are. And in Love Has Forgotten No One, in that book, in my 4-page forgiveness document, if no one has it, if anyone doesn't have it, let me know and I'll email it to you. Because I took several paragraphs from his Love Has Forgotten No One, and then from the Course on the 3 major ways to undo the ego, which is turn your day over to Holy Spirit, meditate, and practice this true forgiveness. But in that Love Has Forgotten No One, he says, if you practice this type of true forgiveness where you just think of a person as all of it, or they are spirit, whole, pure, and innocent, you will be doing something that very few people in history, that's his quote, in history have ever done. Think about history, 14.5 billion years ago. Very few. That means a very you get the point. So it's great that you understand what true forgiveness is. And this. So, so in that workshop, so we want to imagine the light that's here. It's an inner light that's in your mind, in your mind, because we've been imagining form figures for all those years. So now, even though you can't see that light and you can't really imagine it, you just keep practicing. So in my meditation, I talk about the huge sun that's above the head, and you see a ray. Well, there's another way that you can maybe consider doing that might be more appropriate for you, is which Lama Surya brought up. I guess that's how he was taught a lot. To picture, when your eyes are closed, picture a moon where this third eye is behind your forehead, a moon. And you're visualizing that, you're looking at that light and joining with that light for a second, nanosecond, or a second, whatever. Or if it feels like you can visualize better, the ray, that's when I have you picture this great ray coming down from the sun and surrounding you. So we'll do that now. You just relax in your chair for take some breaths, relax however you want to do. And then either visualize that moon behind your forehead, or visualize this huge sun above your head. That's like a million suns, and there's rays that come down from it. And per the course, you are connected to eternity with a great ray. So that ray or pillar of light, column of light, comes down and surrounds you. And that's sort of like in Julia's picture. There's a great ray that's coming down around all those three people there. And that light is so loving, so pristine, and so beautiful, you want to join with it. But before you do, I want you to picture an altar in your mind, and on that altar, put the things you think you need to be happy. And then picture that, I went to the light, sorry. Then picture that altar and your body disappearing into the light. Now focus your attention on the light, and it's so loving, so pristine. Dissolve into it or enter into it, relax your shoulder, just relax, breathe in and out of it. Join with that light for just a minute or two. If your mind wanders, just focus your attention back on the light. Okay, and when you want, you can bring yourself back to this place, your place, but recognize you can go there anytime. You can go to your real self anytime. And that's the topic of my main conversation here tonight is I learned this word from Lama Surya Das, the Buddhist group, the Dzogchen Center, that I do their Sunday meditation. And like I said, did that 2-day retreat last weekend, because many things in Buddhism parallel A Course in Miracles. And by just hearing something a little different, might tweak you into getting a truth that Jesus is talking about a little deeper. Now this, and I hadn't thought about it, I practice the bell of mindfulness. And I haven't really talked about this, but why it came up is it came up that retreat there, there can be quickie moments where you join with the light. That's very, very, very powerful because in essence, you stop thinking with ego and you focus your attention on your mind. Now, granted, we're still trying to join with the light, but you still focus your attention in your mind, no matter if it's dark or whatever color it is, or you just go to your mind. And that moment is huge because you stop that egoic thinking. But how do you remember to do that? Then that's that bell of mindfulness, which is that monk, Thichnhat, Han, H-A-N-H. He's the one that wrote a book, Being Peace. And that's where I read this. So I'm gonna read what this guy says. And I want us, maybe as a group, maybe not tonight, but as the days go by, to research on the internet an app where there can be a chime or a bell app that we can put on our phones, and you can have it that alarm ring every 10 minutes or 15 minutes. And when the alarm goes off, you go to your mind for a second. And that's to practice it. But anyway, and what this monk teaches in that book is, he says, when you get used to the bell chime, okay, I'm going to my mind, you hear that bell. Then he says, next, you focus your attention on when you're walking or outside or wherever, the sound of the wind, sound of a bird or a car sound. And then you take a second and you focus your attention back in your mind and join with a light for a second and then go back doing whatever you're doing. Then once you practice that, then you can take it another step further where you can just look at any form. Like I'm looking out on my patio, a chair, my sliding glass doors. Any form is just a reminder. For a second, I'm going to go back into my mind and join with my true self, my inner self, my light. And returning to your mind. Those are nanoseconds, holy instants, if you will, where you're thinking a holy thought, but it gets your attention when you call it a quickie, holy instant, a quickie moment to the light, where you're being mindful of your mind. And when I had my DVD of the course, I was searching the course for the word mindful, and I found it was only in 3 places. But where Jesus writes about it is lesson 167. He says, nor change, he quotes things the mind, well, I'll start again. Lesson 167, paragraph 6. The lesson is there's one life that I share with God. Paragraph 6. The mind can think it sleeps, that is all. It cannot change what is its waking state. It cannot make a body, nor abide within a body. What is alien to the mind does not exist because it has no source. For mind creates all things that are and cannot give them attributes it lacks, nor change its own eternal mindful state. Very using. You can't, ego, that's false. We made it up. We cannot change our eternal mindful state. Mindful, being aware of the mind, of the awareness of in that mind is this oneness. But anyway, the other place he talks about it is in chapter 4, paragraph 6, illusions of the ego, section 3, love without conflict. Paragraph 6, let us ask the Father in my name to keep you mindful of his love for you and yours for him. So here's this again, where Jesus, Buddha, Holy Spirit, enlightened beings, ascended masters are all here to help you, but you got to call on them. So Jesus says, let us ask the Father in my name. So in your name, in Jesus, in your name, we ask we want to be mindful of God's love for us and our love for him. So you get your own sentence. That's in paragraph 6, chapter 4, section 3. Now, and then in the course, Jesus talks about that we're mind, purely mind. I found that paragraph again because that where shucks. Let's see, where is it? Oh, here it is. Again, lesson 158, paragraph 1. This lesson 58 is called, Today I Learned to Give as I Receive. You see, first you receive the light, then you give it out, or you receive truth and you give it out. But anyway, you receive first, then you give out. What has been given you? The knowledge that you are a mind, in mind, and purely mind, sinless forever, wholly unafraid, because you were created out of love. So you are mind, a holy mind, and the mind is the activating agent of spirit. That's why we practice our true forgiveness, saying you are spirit, whole, pure, and innocent, all is forgiven and released. To your brothers and to yourself, you say, I am immortal spirit. This body is a false image and has nothing to do with what I am. Because you're putting these thoughts and understandings and perception in your mind that you're a mind, and that mind activates spirit because you're calling on spirit. You're thinking holy spiritual thoughts. Isn't that beautiful? No, you are a mind, in mind, and that's a big M, and purely mind, because you were created out of love. Okay. Now, what I wanted to talk about is these tools of how to go back to our mind, focus on our mind once in a while, is our mood and feelings. And I love that from the retreat weekend. Lama Surya said, what's your inner weather? Do you not like that little sentence? What is your inner weather? I thought, darn, is that beautiful? I was saying that in the car to myself. What's my inner weather? Is it gloomy, cloudy, all crappy today? Or am I focused on the light? Or am I asking Holy Spirit for a lofty thought? Or am I feeling peaceful, loving? What's the inner weather? And Jesus says that your mood, he actually used the word mood. Could you believe that? I had not caught that before, where he says about the mood. Now that's here somewhere. Okay. Here it is. Chapter 4, paragraph 2, sentence maybe 2 or 3. When your mood tells you that you have said, and many times that you, wait, I've got off the wrong thing. When your mood tells you that you have chosen wrongly, and this is so whenever you are not joyous, then no, this need not be. Because what I found in my process of trying to wake up, how do I catch myself when I'm egoic thinking? Because he's sneaky. This is a deceitful, sneaky, egoic thought system. Is how I feel. What's my mood? Then I go, hold it. I've been feeling less than loving or less than joyous today. What was I thinking about? And you go back to your thought. And he says in this paragraph, what's happened? You've got a thought about your brother that's not holy. And you need to ask yourself, think honestly, he says, what you have thought that God would not have thought, and what you have not thought that God would have you think. Well, that's really Holy Spirit. So what was I thinking about my brother? That's why I journal, write down stuff as well. It makes me think about, who was I judging? Then I think about the person or situation, and I immediately practice my true forgiveness sentences on them. And that's why and you may not feel any different. That's why I call it fake it till you make it. You just keep saying these statements of true forgiveness, because as you think of your brother, you will think of yourself. You will be, your unconscious mind will wake up to that you are spirit. Think honestly, what have you thought that God would not have thought? and what you have not thought that God would have you think. Then here Jesus says in paragraph 8, your mind and mine can unite in shining your ego away, releasing the strength of God into everything you think and do. Do not settle for anything less than this and refuse to accept anything but this as your goal. He says, we can think and do with the strength with God and in essence, Holy Spirit. Watch your mind carefully for any beliefs that hinder its accomplishment and step away from them. So the step away is to just stop, pause, and choose again to think holy thoughts. Remind yourself, go to the light, or think or practice your true forgiveness statement. Judge how well you have done this by your own feelings, for this is the one right use of judgment. Now, don't you love that? Because he said other times we don't want to judge, but this is the proper use of judgment. What are your judge how well you've done this by your own feelings, for this is the one right use of judgment, because this will get you out of the dream of separation for a nanosecond or a minute or however long. Yay. Is that cool or what? But to back on that bell of mindfulness, so we'll get a bell chime, a bell sound that will go off every 10 or 15 minutes. Then when you're out walking, I do it. I've done this for several months after I found this book, Being Peace, and found this bell of mindfulness. I would watch for birds and I go, oh, or I'd hear the bird chirp. Oh, go back to my mind. I go back to my mind. And then it got so the wind would move through the branches. I go, oh, there's the wind. I go back to my mind. You're using just any little cue to remind yourself to go back to your mind and have those quickie moments, really being in the light. This is so beautiful because you are the light of the world. That's what we want to remember. Okay, now any questions about that? Because I'm going to go to a second topic about Holy Spirit. Or we can wait till the end.
Well, I wanted to say something, Glenda. Can you hear me?
Yes, it's Julia. Go ahead, Julia.
Yes. So there's an app, an ACIM Remind app, and you can get that and you can set it for like your 10 minutes, 15 minutes.
Wait. Say that again. What now, cutie?
I'll put it in the chat. It's the ACIM Remind app. And
really?
So and I have like a one of the sounds on the phone. It sounds just like a chime, and it even has like a running water sound, like a little bird chirping or something for a second. And it's in, if you've got an iPhone, it's in your sound list, and so you can choose what sound you want to chime on your phone.
So great.
And
I knew one of you all might know this. Great. Go ahead.
Then you can also get reminded of what the daily lesson is. And it also has like the full lesson, and then it has like the little reminder. And so it's really good to, for me, like some people are like, oh, you should just do this by memory and remember. It's not good for you to have an app to train your mind. But
see, I've heard
something.
that, my dear. I've heard that over the years. And if that's fine, let that person who thinks that do that for themselves. Because I'm here to explain on my path, it was difficult for me to remember to go and come back to my mind. That bell thought, this will speed your process. Now, if you don't want to do it, fine. But man, let me tell you, this will speed your process of being aware of your mind, because awareness of perfect oneness is the definition of heaven. The knowledge that there's nothing else, nothing outside this oneness, and nothing else within. The awareness of perfect oneness. But how do you get to that awareness of that pure, clear light, invisible light that covers the earth and the universe? It's being reminded to go to your mind, to that light. And you're purifying your mind of thoughts, so then it ends up to be no head, no skull. You're just light. Light is just radiating out. So to each his own that don't want that reminder, then great. But I'm I'm just trying to help us get there. Thank you. Thank
Mhm.
you.
Yeah, I have that app too, and I did use it when I did the workbook. And when I did the workbook, I also like wrote down like flashcards and stuff. I did hear Ken Wapnick say like, but that app was created by the Foundation for Inner Peace. So it is cool for sure. But Ken Wapnick was one of the guys that said like, you have these people with like a wristwatch with an alarm and stuff. And the whole point is to kind of like try and remember it. But like whatever helps you to remember God throughout the day, then use it.
That's correct. He's the only one. Well, it doesn't matter.
Well, he
This,
was, yeah, and he wasn't like acute, like he wasn't being rude about it.
no, no.
He just found it a little silly, but I'm sure he was a part of making the app. It's just.
Well, I'm here to throw out, I call them tools. So there's a big toolbox out there, and there can be all the different tools, and you all pick and choose which ones you want. But that's a Course in Miracles Remind app. Okay, thank you. Now,
I'm sorry, but I
yes.
just have to say that on my phone, I set my timer when I was doing the first part of the course to remind myself of when I had to do things. And sometimes I didn't, and sometimes I did. But it kind of helped me, just setting the timer on my phone. It kind of helped me to remember that I had to do that particular idea. Think about that idea. So
Well, now,
I'm
Sally,
not sure that you need that app, but
well, thanks. Now, see, I wondered about that because I have an alarm on my phone, and I set it during the day for appointments and stuff. But how do you get it to repeat every 15 minutes? There's a possibility for that.
yeah, I don't know if you have an iPhone or not.
Yes,
but
I have an
on my
iPhone.
iPhone, you can put it on timer, and you could set it for any increment of time that you want to.
Really? Great.
So I set up like 15-minute increments.
Yes.
And then whatever lesson I had to do, I would like set it at like a 30-minute or a 15-minute or 10-minute increment. But you can do that, on the timer on your iPhone.
Not the alarm. Thank you. Thank you.
Well,
Very
yeah, it's
good.
the same. It's the same like setting, but it's like the alarm, or is it the alarm? Yeah, alarm, timer. There's like what is it?
I'll Google
Timer
it.
for running or whatever. But yeah, you can set that on your phone.
Thank
That's
you.
how I did it.
Okay, cool. So, cool. Yes. Okay, now here is, okay, where was my list here? Now the second topic that this came up is there's other groups on Facebook. There's an A Course in Miracles study group or a discussion group, I forget. But anyway, on one of those groups, a lady posted something. Her name was Lana, Carolan. Now, for years, one of the three things, boy, I try to practice this, whatever I'm saying here, I'm trying to practice too, turning my day over to Holy Spirit. But I gotta see if my little dog is doing okay. Sometimes he needs to get down. I'm getting to, he will be passing in 2 days because he's got an issue that the vet can't help him with. And so I'm getting to practice true forgiveness. And you could still be normal, grieve a loss of a pet or a loved one. But anyway, Holy Spirit, help me. So I turn my day over to Holy Spirit and asking explain, you be the boss. You guide me what to do or say. I say this to him. And then I'll find myself going off and taking back over a situation or a problem, and I'm going to fix it, or I'll find myself working with the problem, right? Her posting had me truly understand that, because we can say the words, turn your day over to Holy Spirit, but can I just be or just love, but can we really be aware whether we're doing that or not? And again, it's our feelings. But here's what Holy Spirit told her. He says, you need not know the answer to a problem in order for it to be solved. it requires nothing of you. And she wrote, it required nothing, or it required nothing of her or from her. She was to disengage from the situation and of any idea of remedying the situation herself. She was to let go and let God handle it completely. It was a call to trust that truth was indeed true. It was a call from love to love. To love was her part in the process, her only part. She said she realized she was sustained by the love of God, and that's lesson 50. So when I read that, it really made an impact on me, because my job is just to love, because there's either love or call for love, right? So I went around walking, I forget if it was yesterday or the day before, and I would say, I love you to all the stuff that showed up out in front of me when I was walking and in my house, whatever. And there was a particular issue I think I have, that I want a certain solution on. And so I said, now, Holy Spirit, I really mean it this time. I'm turning this one over to you. I'm not going to take it back up again. And so I'm practicing this. And again, what I'm writing here, how I know if I'm practicing is how I feel. Do I feel joyous and loving or not? So then I came back home, and I did some stuff, and I went to the grocery store. Now, picture, I've been practicing true forgiveness on what showed up in front of my face since 2014. So 7 years, right? So this bill, but if you think of the bill, 14.5 billion years that we've been wandering around, what in the heck is 7 years? It's a pittance. But in our lifetime, when we're working, we're thinking, damn, when is this ever going to be over? But you just hang in there and keep doing this, and you will. Ultimately, my arc of light was released, and I can know the great ray, etc. But still, there's these thousands or millions of judgment thoughts still in the unconscious mind that are being healed by Holy Spirit as you do your forgiveness work. But anyway, so I got to the grocery store, and do you know, automatically, I wasn't even thinking, my mind was saying, I love you to everything that was in the grocery store, the people. I love you. It was just, and it wasn't in a panic. It was just silently saying this. And then I know enough, because see, the bell of mindfulness, I'm always trying to go to my mind, to the light. And that's when I realized, because it's happened to me some off and on through the last few years, where I actually have no head, no skull. There's just this clear light, pure, innocent, clear, pristine light, God light, Christ light, whatever you want to call it, one of everything. That there's only that light. And I'm going, whoa, in my mind going, whoa. And I'm asking Holy Spirit, I hope this continues, because see, along the way, there's steps as we awaken. And I forget what chapter the steps are in, and you make an adjustment, you do something, then you practice, and then you get an experience or a feeling, and then you go back to your work, and it builds on itself, or you might back up, seem like you back up a little bit, but then you regroup, you come back again. It's just a process. It's like a pendulum, a ping pong ball. Sometimes this stuff goes back and forth in dualism, and other times you stay in the oneness. But knock on wood, other than when I was thinking my dog's dying today, but even then, folks, what was weird was I could see that Glenda was sad about her dog dying in tears, but I was watching this from the clear light. Other times I would be feeling the crying, but other times I'm like just watching her do this. So see, we are the watcher and the observer. We are the decision maker. And I explain to people, you try to put your attention behind your head and get your body in this movie screen, in this projection of these forms that are out here. And that might just be a second that you're able to think of that my Glenda's body, Troy's body, Brian's body is in this movie screen, this play. But you get the point. But I'm here to witness to you, this stuff works. Jesus has found the fast track out for the awakening process. So just keep practicing. Now, chapter 7, I forget where I found this. I think it was a posting on the internet as well. And I didn't get it printed. I hand wrote it, so I may miss a word and I have to come back, but it's in chapter 7. When a mind has only light, it knows only light. Because see, that's what I was talking about. Once these thoughts, impure thoughts, are purified out of the mind, you don't have thoughts of judgment. There's just clear mind. So then there's only clear light, because what's within is what you see out there. I forget exactly how Jesus says it. Whatever's within is what you see out there. But when a mind has only light, it knows only light. Its own radiance shines all around it and extends out into the darkness of other minds, transforming them into majesty. See, when that light, when you're in the light for a nanosecond or whenever, that light, you're the light of the world, touches all the lights of all the 8 billion people or more, because there's the universe of aliens and all the people. It touches everything, the majesty of your light. The majesty of God is there for you to recognize and appreciate and know. So that light that you're imagining, and you're faking it till you make it, that you join with it, and you may join with it for seconds or minutes. In that light is the recognition of God, of everything. It's wow, recognizing Holy Spirit, everything, recognizing the majesty of God as your brother is to accept your own inheritance. God gives only equally. If you recognize his gift in anyone, you have acknowledged what he has given you. Nothing is so easy to recognize as truth. See, that's why those forgiveness sentences, you're saying, you are spirit, whole, pure, and innocent, all is forgiven or released, or you say all of it. That's what you're recognizing in your brother. That's the majesty of your brother. Nothing is so easy to recognize as truth. Yeah, you can say Jesus, right? This is the recognition that is, can't read that. Immediate, clear, and natural. See, that's your natural state. Isn't that beautiful? Jesus, we learned the other week, the recognition, enlightenment is but a recognition, not a change at all. Because that light is right here in your mind, right here spread out over the earth. We just don't see it because it's clear and invisible versus you see all these forms. So that's why, but anyway, it's natural. He says it's immediate, clear, and natural. You have trained yourself not to recognize it. And this has been very difficult for you. Well, that's an understatement. We made up our hell. So anyway, 7:47, I'm going to open up the floor to questions or comments or anything. Please, anyone want to share anything? Or I just, Troy, you want to say something?
Sure. I always feel like I'm saying too much, but anyway.
Oh, no.
On my phone, I can't tell who else may be eager to speak. So I'm willing to step aside if there's anyone else that, no?
I don't
I'll go
see a
ahead.
hand.
Okay.
Well, I must say, when I get emails from people that watch these YouTube videos, they love that you all share how you're living A Course in Miracles and how your life's being affected. Go ahead.
Okay. So I was going to share before the meeting and before I read your email that I now look forward to closing my eyes, turning off my light at night, closing my eyes, because that light is starting to greet me. There's some shadows going across it, but whether I have my eyes open in the dark or whether I have them closed in the dark, I know that I'm going to see that light now. And and that's just been like in the last week that light is coming to me when I close my eyes. It's not as bright as what, I'm imagining, but it's actually coming to me now. And sometimes I see what I feel are like these little fingers of light, almost like heat lightning. And they don't necessarily flicker, but if I keep my attention on them, and they're just real faint. So I start to imagine the rays that you're talking about, that might be what it is, that's my theory. So I wanted to share that. And
That's wonderful. Congratulations.
Like
Congratulations. Yeah. Yes. Cool.
I'm fascinated every time you talk about your head not even being there, your skull being gone. I don't know if that'll happen to me or not, but I'm so open to that. I would love for that to happen.
Well, now that it's happened, but see, I've experienced it different moments for the last few years, but it was fleeting, but I understood what it meant. It meant the purity that because we're not a body, we are free, for we're still as God created. So I never knew what that experience, and see, these are just my experiences. I don't know what yours will be, but it also, the logic or the reasoning, see, Jesus reasons with us in the course, and ultimately we end up reasoning with ourselves, but the body is not here. There's only light. And once in a while I'll go, there's just light. That's what this means. There's just light. I mean, it's true. There's just God light, clear and visible here. But and that may help you because, see, we're not a body. So we've awakened, and there's just the mind with no thought, just the radiant, just this light in it. There's not even there. Then, well, whatever, you get it. But go ahead. See, it's great that you go to you got some light showing up, and that flicker. That's light behind the darkness. That's the true light. Dots of light, or like the little lightning strike. Yes.
And also the little, I've got some clouds moving, or, different shapes, but they're like cloud-like. But the other thing I wanted to share was that more and more I've been doing the thing that you talked about in your email, and that you mentioned in your second topic, that this lady posted, to give God to give Holy Spirit the problem, instead of taking it back all the time. And so with my husband, he's constantly around. So it's been a real discipline for me. And in the last couple of weeks, when I noticed that I was desiring his attention, or desiring him to be romantic with me, because he has not been in forever, I would feel the desire, or I would feel the loneliness or the frustration while I'm sitting next to him in the car. Or he would be a little bit happy with me, and then it would disappear. And it was like I was to my husband, like I wasn't there. And that's just him. And so instead of giving in and paying attention to, I would realize that I have that yucky feeling, like, okay, I must be desiring, his attention again, because I'm feeling lonely, frustrated, unhappy, desiring. And we talked 1 week about desire is to suffer. Actually, it can be the seed of that. Not always, but some people are lucky in love and in their careers and stuff, but not me. So I would, instead of mentioning it out loud to my husband, or asking him what was going on, or expressing that I wasn't feeling happy, or expressing whatever feeling I was having, just stating it, I then would do what I did when I had that spiritual experience. I would simply say something like, dreamer of the dream. Oh, that's right, I'm dreaming this. Or, wow, did I really sign up for some script? This is the script that I agreed to. In some way, I would turn to God in my mind And if I'm sitting with my husband consecutively for a long time in the car, sometimes the body would be calling to me again, and form would be calling to me, and I would feel that yucky feeling again. And then I would make myself remember again that this is just a dream and I don't have to react to it. So I've been doing real good with that for like the past couple of weeks. And then something happened today that really brought me out in, the form called to me. And I was talking to my husband, and I really missed, the way we were. And he was depressed today because he wasn't getting sex. And so I found myself in a discussion with my husband again. And of course, that reawakens my desire to have that guy that I first had, that he acted the right, did all the right romantic things and was considerate and all that. Thank you, Sally. Sally just chatted me and said she loves me. So today I got pulled into it a little bit, and I recognized what was happening. And I said to my husband, when I talk about this, it just makes me desire it even more. And have you not noticed that I have not actually been talking about our relationship or my feelings of pain or loneliness, that I've just been letting them go? And he said he had noticed that. So I would really rather not go there. And so I would rather I told him about my method is that I go to God. That's why I have not been in pain or talking to my husband about it or crying or anything. And so, that was just what I wanted to share.
Well, thank you, Troy, because see what you're doing, you're alert to the topic tonight, but it always carries into other of our meetings, what your mood and your feelings are, and you're getting out of it sooner. You're not wallowing in it for overnight or a day, but yet you turn it over to Holy Spirit. You might be guided to do or say something, but you have to be careful about whether the ego is saying that,
Right.
or it's something. So you're sitting praying on that deal. How you feel about, because
I am, because
yes.
I end up, because my husband just kind of goes into his silence, because he's more of a silent type. And so he'll be, sometimes I can tell he's listening and other times I'm not. But even when he's listening, he does not really participate because he's not as aware of his feelings and thoughts as I am. So I end up doing all this talking and I exhaust myself and I just feel even more stressed. So to me, that's the ego guiding me.
Yeah, wearying. If you feel wearied, right, what are your feelings?
Yeah.
Because these are some other sentences I love from Lama Surya Das's talks. Let things be. Let things come and go. Catch myself whether I'm grabbing onto, clutching onto something, wanting it, or I'm pushing it away, not wanting, unwanting something. That's duality. That's fighting the still. Want it, unwant it. That's, yeah. So we're aware of how we feel. And now when I want to read something, there is Tina. Oh, Tina was going to say something, but she left.
Yeah.
Is Tina still here? No.
Did she come back?
Sorry, is Tina back up there? But Sally wants to, but here's something else I copied from the internet. I think David Hoffmaster was with one of the course groups, and this comes from him. You're moving from seeing yourself as a dream figure on the screen to becoming the light that projects the figures on the screen. Now that's different, isn't it? Remembering you're the light, that power, that Christ mind, we've made this crap up. We've projected this. So in essence, the light that projects these images. So you're moving from the dream figure in the dream, that we're the cause, of course, we're the projector. We're the watcher, observer, the Christ mind. But when I agree with ego and the collective conscious ego with the projections, then I'm out there in the movie, in the script. So you're the light that projects the screen. And like you said, Troy, you're saying to yourself, I'm dreaming this. I'm the dreamer of the dream. So that's a way of stopping, like that monk that used the bell of mindfulness. I forgot there's another sentence somewhere where he says, just stop. stop, pause, take a pause, rethink this, go to the light, you know? So, anyway, now Sally, go ahead and then Dee.
Oh, I think Sally's phone died. She just sent a
It
chat.
is dying. My phone's dying.
Oh, you're
I
still
said
there.
goodbye
Okay, good.
because I'm going to die soon. But I think Julia wanted to talk. Love you, Julia.
Oh, good. Oh, yeah,
Okay.
Julia
I love
and
you,
Dee.
Sally. But Sally, you can go. You can go first because your phone's gonna die. So you go first.
I didn't have anything to say.
Thank you, Sally,
Oh.
for being here tonight. Thank you, in case your phone died.
Yes, I
love
love you,
being here.
Sally.
This is like my highlight. I love you guys.
I love you.
You
We
look
love
so
you.
beautiful.
Now, remember, we're going to practice forgiveness on 3 people. So if your phone dies, pick 3 people and do forgiveness on it before you stop.
I already did it, but I will.
Did you?
again. Yes, I did.
And before Julia talked, you say there's a word, 2021. What's the marathon? What do you call this?
Forgive-a-thon.
Forgive-a-thon. Do you not love that
Forgive-a-thon
word?
2021.
Oh,
And you can
Don't
change it to 2022.
well,
Forgive-a-thon.
I may start putting that in our subject line. Forgive-a-thon. A thon.
Yeah.
You know?
That's
Right,
great.
like a marathon.
Yeah, forgive-a-thon.
That's my life, you know.
2021,
Forgive.
and then we'll change it to 20. So forgive ATHON 2021, right? Well, I'm
Yes.
gonna put that in our. That could be our creed for our
Okay.
Oh
group.
my gosh,
right?
thank you so much. I love it.
That's our creed. That is good.
Yeah.
I love this. Okay, Julia, go for it. And then Dee.
Hi, thank you. I love you so much, Sally. And you've been looking so beautiful and radiant lately. I just wanted to let you know that.
Oh my gosh, you too. I
And-
just love you. I love you. Thank you so much for
Oh,
saying
thank
that.
you, thank you. So this is how I worked with Holy Spirit this weekend. And so I've said before, I'm a cleaner. And so it's kind of mundane, like I'm really working with the mundane and the physical. And I have physical pain in my leg, and I don't like to take, the Advil and stuff like that. But if it gets really bad, I will. But so I live in Washington, so I was experiencing this really intense heat, and I had to go to work. And so, let's see. Saturday, I went to work. I started working at 8:30, and I worked until. But this house had air conditioning, so that wasn't a problem. I worked until 9 o'clock that night. So it was cleaning a huge house and just, nonstop physical work. And so when like my mind wants to say, why are you doing this? This is so hard, cleaning so hard. And then, so I'd be like, oh, Holy Spirit, I'm feeling weak. And I would just, whatever feelings of, whenever I was feeling discontent or any kind of stress or resistance or fatigue, I would just
Yay.
bring that to Holy Spirit
Yay.
and forgive it. And so, and that's how I made it through like that, I don't know, 10-hour day of cleaning. And then I had to get up the next day and start cleaning at 8 a.m. And that had no air conditioning, and it was 90 degrees in the house. And I cleaned for 7.5 hours. And then after that job, I went to another house that didn't have air conditioning, and I worked until 1:30 in the morning. And so it was, and then I had to get up
I'll be
the
right
next
back.
morning.
I'll be right back, you
Okay.
guys.
Okay. And clean another house. And it was only 86 in the house and didn't have an AC, but after doing the day before, and it was only 5 hours, it was a piece of cake. But it was constantly working any kind of resistance that came up, any kind of physical pain. I didn't cry. And I think I only took Advil once, and that was the 3rd day. And Holy Spirit just really got me through it. And just, I wanted to remain in peace. And Glenda talks about Thich Nhat Hanh and his bell of mindfulness. And I was listening to a woman, Annie Tenzin Palmo, and she's a Buddhist nun, and she's amazing. And when you listen to that and her teachings, you just hear the course. And So I really love, because I came to the course from Buddhism, of being a Buddhist for like 25 years. And so for me, I'm kind of like reverse as Glenda, where, and now I listen to Buddhist teachings and I'm just like, well, that's the course. That's the course. And it is really validating. It's like, this is the nature of reality. This isn't a religion. This is it, right? This
Mhm.
is, you know, you don't,
True.
it doesn't have to be, it can be raw. You don't have to have a package for it. It is, this is the truth, the true
High
nature
truth.
of our being. Yeah. And
Yeah.
so at Thich Nhat Hanh's monastery, but Annie Palmo, she talks about how at his monastery, they ring that bell throughout the day. And that's a
Wow.
symbol of like, okay, wake up, you know, come back,
That's it. Yes.
breathe,
Come
be
back.
mindful, be in the present moment, and join with the light.
Yes.
So, and
Yes.
that's like what you need to do no matter where you are, being normal, you're cleaning the house, doesn't matter. And that's how I had the energy to, you know, it sustained me. I was like, just be in the moment. It doesn't matter. Nothing in form matters. The body doesn't matter. And I'd be like, why am I a cleaner? Oh, this is so hard. And, you know, I'd be like, Holy Spirit, why did I choose this? And do I have to? Is, you know, can I not choose this? And Holy Spirit's like, yeah, you can stop this anytime. I'll use anything. Anything in life I will use for you to show you how to awaken. But it's, you know, oh, and another thing I heard, I think it was Annie Palmo said, you know, told the story of someone telling a story about, you know, to polish wood, you can't take a piece of silk and rub it over a piece of wood and make it smooth. You've got to take sandpaper
Wow.
and rub it, and it's that grit that makes it smooth. So if you can take these, you know, your ordinary experiences and stay at peace and keep your peace, but like you need a higher, you know, to access Holy Spirit, right? I can't do this by myself. I can't just turn that on, you know, that peace. I need to, and she said you taught this, there's a 4 T's. You tame, train, transform, and transcend. So this is mind training that we're doing, right? We tame, we train, and we transform, then we transcend.
Wow.
And
That's
that's that
beautiful.
image, right? We're like transcending in the
Yes.
light. That's when we're in the light body. You
Well,
know,
now,
we have transcended this, all these ordinary appearances, because we think everything around us is ordinary, but it's not. It's light. It's,
majestic, extraordinary,
yes, it's
our
a
true self.
majestic.
But I want to point out,
Yes.
like what Troy was talking about, she's taken her daily life, you're taking your daily life, and you're practicing these truths from A Course in Miracles and different truths from Buddhism. But the bottom line, we got to remember to do it. That's why another theme of our group's going to be the bell of mindfulness. We've got, you know, we got to have, like you said, that whole monastery, they ring the bell. And the thought, they trained them. You go back to your mind and you think holy thoughts and you go to the light. Okay. And they go, okay, we're going to do it. So, and during that 2-day retreat, I said something like I was going to sell my house so I didn't have to do maintenance and yard work. Don't you know that? Lama Surya said to me, well, in a very polite way, you know, you can do meditate and practice forgiveness as you do it. See, most of the time I do that, but I forget. And see, my judgment thought is maintenance and, like you're saying, the cleaning, maintenance and yard work. Well, that's why after even you wake up, you're chopping wood and carrying water. We're doing our regular things, our normal things, but how do I handle it? Now, granted, you can take your leave and you can take the magic stuff. You don't, you know, you're asking the Holy Spirit not to strain your whole form, and you're hydrating, because in one of Gary Renard's books, he lists, Art and Persa gave him a list of things you do to help relax the ego, but one of them is drink plenty of water. Besides that, you try to walk. See, she's cleaning, so she's exercising a lot. So you're not going to have to walk, Julia. But see, this practicality is whatever we're doing in the day, practicing on these forms. The bell of mindfulness, first, we're looking at remembering the bell. We the chimes, and we remember a bird sound, but then we finally get down to it's just a form. Like I look at my canister with Toby's food in it, that I can take a minute and go to the light and not think of the light instead of the canister. Take a form to remind you to go to your mind. But anyway, now let's see. Sally, you got your hand up. Did you think of something you want to say?
I don't have my hand up.
Oh, now you don't. Okay, now you don't.
Did I? I don't know, but
Yeah, you did it. But
I don't have anything to say
okay.
except I have a Toby. There's my Toby
Oh,
over there. Can you see my? Can
go
you see my
again.
Toby?
He's red retriever
There's
down
my Toby.
again. I saw him for a second. There he is.
There's Toby.
Hi, Toby. Hi, Toby. Hi. Now, Dee, did you have your hand up?
I'm
No.
sorry about your Toby.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah. Okay, now, Troy, did you think of something else?
Yes,
Okay, go.
you guys triggered me. This past week, I actually experienced a couple of times when the light was stronger than form. I don't remember it was whether I was working on my book, which I do that in my bedroom. But my mind had been on the Holy Spirit, on true forgiveness. I seem to do it more than just meditating. Like I don't leave out. I mean, it feels like it's almost constant. I will get into doing my work, which is the novel writing and working on the world building and learning the craft and actually doing it. And at some point, the light like interrupted me. Like, I'm like, oh, there you are,
Wow.
And I was like, wow, light is really stronger than form.
Wow.
All this whole time I've been so experiencing like, oh, life is getting in my way. I'll never reach the light. I'll never transcend or whatever, because it seemed like it was so strong. And then this past week, that was one of the things I experienced, and it was so memorable. And I just wanted to share that. So.
Well, see, that's what's happening. It is like Joey said, Jesus says, this is a course in mind training. First half of the lessons are to get us to be aware of ego. The second half is to allow us to be aware of the love that we are, our brothers are, and that God is. We're changing false perception to true perception, recognizing that knowledge comes after that. We're not concerned with knowledge now. We're just concerned with changing our perception, tweaking it to go to the light. This is so great, you guys.
So it's happening. One more thing is when you say I love you to all the people in the grocery store.
Yes.
For me, the word love is so multifaceted. So for my brain, I say to everybody, you are God, you are God. That's one of the many things that I was taught from one of Gary's books.
Yes, you can say God to everything. That's right.
God,
you can say God, or Son of God, or Face of Christ. You'll come, that is. Now, anybody else have any thoughts? Because we're at 8:12 and, wait, we got to practice. Wanna pick 3 people and practice true forgiveness on them. And that is like, I have a terrible accent and I'm not good at names. So Ani, is it?
It's Honey.
Hanny, like H-A-N-Y, Hanny?
Yes.
That's better.
It sounds as an age. Yes.
Oh, good. Now, see, I can handle that better, Hanny. So what we do for shortness tonight, you can just say all of it to 3 people on the screen. Or we've got our sentences that is in that 4-page document. So you all, let's go for it. We're practicing true forgiveness.
Where is that? I didn't get that document. Is that on your email too?
No, I didn't. Now, will you chat your email address? And when we're done, I'll email it to you.
Okay, yes.
But yeah, chat that.
Let me see, because I can't even find the chat in here.
Hey, that's okay. I'll chat. Well, at the bottom of the screen, Hanny. Bottom of this, touch the bottom. Oh, I got a touch screen.
I got it. Yes.
See the chat?
I saw
Okay,
it.
now I'm going to go over here and I'm going to say all of it, or say you are spirit, whole, pure, and innocent. All is forgiven and released. Because see, we're releasing the person from their body. That's what we say to another person. Ha! It's so simple, but again, to remember to do it. That's why we're going to do the timer. If you're so feeling like you want to do it. But I mean, I'm wanting to the heck wake up. So I'm going to use all the tools in the toolbox. And finally, and what I'm finding, like when I was at the grocery store, I didn't have to be reminded. My mind was just saying it. But yet I'm not giving this. I'm not going to risk anything. I'm going to push the envelope here. I love you guys. Any other comments from anyone? Hey, Brian, you got to say car again.
Ah,
That just, oh man, I love your accent. Oh gosh. You go,
Oh, I've-
look. Huh?
no, I was just gonna say I've loved listening to you guys. Everyone's stories. Glenda, could you send me the thing you were talking about? I don't think I have it. The forgiveness document there.
Oh yes, Brian. Will you chat your email address too, so I don't have to look it up?
Sure.
I'm writing down Hanny's now. Make sure I get this right. Jany. Somebody's telling Brian hi. We got a little resonating.
You're awesome.
Dee had her dog showing her dog. Where is, and Brian's about to chat his. I don't seeing it yet. Oh, I'm going to show you guys Toby. Toby's got 2 more days in this lifetime. Just a minute and I'll get him for you. Come here, Toby. Come here, honey. Come here, darling. Come here, honey. Here, wait. I'm going to show you. I got to show everybody you. Here's Toby. There's Toby. There's Toby. He's 15 and a half. His lifetime is done in 2 days. Isn't it great that he gets to pick? We all chose, but we don't remember.
He's lucky.
We did, yeah.
Bless his heart. Oh,
Yes.
Aw.
He's had a great life. I mean, really, what a companion during COVID. And in the illusion, he got an IV treatment between his shoulder blades. The vet did it, only $10 a week. I had to buy the IV fluid and the syringes. It was like dialysis for his kidneys. Kept that little sucker going for an extra year. So, everything's great, Thank you all for being here. Oh, wait, I got to make sure. Here's Brian's email. Oh, B-Dog, that's funny, _38. Yahoo, huh? Is that Yahoo? Yahoo is YAHOO.com. 38 at. Okay, cool. Well, thank you all for being here tonight. I love you all.
Thank you too, Glenda.
Thank you.
Thank you all so much.
love you all. Good night.
Love
Thank
you all.
you.
Thank
you.
you. Thank you,
Bye.
Glenda. Thanks, everybody. Love you.
Love you.
Have a
Bye,
great
guys.
week.
You all.
Bye,
Bye-bye.
Yanni.